Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Wendigo Studios coverage of the REI Racing Lodgebox series here from iRacing's Simulated Speedway of Kansas. Tonight we're at Kansas Speedway in Kansas City in Kansas. This brand new state-of-the-art facility has brought NASCAR to the heartland. Although the tri-oval track design is not unique to Kansas, the slight difference in the banking makes this track truly different. With that banking in mind, 20 degrees in the turns, 11 degrees on the front stretch, 5 degrees on the back stretch. We'll be doing 130 laps on this 1.5 mile D-shaped oval. 195 miles tonight. Pit road speeds 45, fuel between 50 and 55 laps. For the yellow brick road, 195 for the Lodgebox series. Soloing in the group tonight is myself, Harold Darner, and I'll be your everything tonight, your executive producer as well as your commentator. So take it easy on me there, Twitch channel tonight. But it is the last of the round of 8, looking for 4 drivers to punch their card in. Look at the playoff picture for the race going into tonight. Super tight race all the way around. Talk about that today here. Alan Elwood locked in by virtue of winning last week's race at Michigan. Then Cameron Hearn, 35 points to the good. Just needs to show up tonight and put the car on the grid. David Weishart almost a lock with 10 points to the good over the cut line, with 18 drivers currently set out here for tonight. Did I say trucks? I mean, the Lodgebox series is the Xfinity cars, as we're talking in at row 234. We are Lodgebox series, Xfinity series. If I said it incorrectly, I'll be corrected there by the Twitch channel. Mr. Larch is on the top of the cut line by virtue of winning a race. Grant is on the outside looking in. They're tied virtually. Shane Theron, Mr. Chris Seidenfaden, and Nick Trader back 7 points. Trader gonna need to have a heck of a race and beat all these other drivers. It looks like he might have to maybe win the race to get going into the next set. But Larch, Grant, Theron, and Seidenfaden are gonna basically be which one of the 4 drivers crosses the line first. So we will see a battle within a battle tonight. Nick Trader probably looking for a win to get himself in, and that'll spoil the fun for everyone else. But then Larch, Grant, and Theron and Seidenfaden will be trying to outdo each other on the racetrack tonight. 130 laps on this 1.5 oval. 6 minutes left in qualifying. Or practice, sorry. See, I'm off everything here. Not used to doing everything on myself here, but I'll be all right. We'll figure it out. Jake had something to do, so, and Mr. Weiland is checking out a league, so good luck to all those guys. All right, so that's your playoff picture. We'll know by the end of the night which one is going to make it forward and which ones are going to just be without that yellow. In the scoring box on my left of your screen, in the yellow are our playoff drivers. In the white are the drivers that are just in it to win it. About 5.5 minutes left here at Kansas. We've been seeing pretty much the last 2 nights, they've been hitting that high line. See what we can do here. Check this out with these guys. Our drone camera here at Wendigo Studios. High line's been predominant throughout. Early runs that can get down to pretty much anywhere. The X car going to be a little bit different for us tonight. We'll see what things play out, what shakes out. Guys are going to probably try to do this in 2 stops to keep a set of tires in reserve in case we get a green white checker or a late lap caution. This is a night race, so we're at the sunset right now during practice. Bring up LottiesTravelWorld.com weather for the Yellow Brick Road. 195, partly cloudy skies, 65 in the air, 67 on the track. Nice cool track temperature. Relative humidity at 50%, and the wind slightly out of the southwest at 2 miles per hour. That's your weather provided by LottiesTravelWorld.com. Check them out. Looking for a staycation, vacation, just get out of the house. Give them a call. Dial them up through LottiesTravelWorld.com. Let them get you a quote on your next vacation. So about 3.5 left in practice. If you're viewing, I have to see who you got for the race win tonight. Type in the chat there. We'll hook you up. Cameron Hearn taking that car through the grass back to the pit lane. Gonna knock it for good, get in the backup car. There's a 0-2 of Jordan Martin and James Scioli in the 7. Our playoff drivers at number 6 is Michael Larch there. All the dirt say Elwood in the NASCAR 2003 series days. That's when, yeah, been around for a while. People still racing on that service. It's amazing that old of a title coming up on its 20th anniversary. Still the engine powering iRacing. 20 years ago, at 2003, hit the market and started the sensation of simulation racing. Yeah, I got that, Mr. Motormouth there. Definitely, they're all trying to do a Travis slide and catch device there. There's the 84 Forrest Smith. I think they're all trying to get their backup cars out. They don't like their starting cars, so they're siding pod and sliding this Mobile 1 there. So just about done with practice. Get qualifying for you here started just shortly. Checker flag out on practice, so we will be moving into qualifying. 2 laps, single driver, old-fashioned qualifying. Get on the track here. right, first one out, Ed Robertson, as he's out on his first lap, coming to the green for the first time. Garrett Grant, one of our playoff contenders, and at number 5. And we have got JT Motormouth said Beckner for the win. So 1 vote for Beckner, 1 vote for Elwood. Elwood is locked in by virtue of a win last week at Michigan. Hearn just basically has to show up onto the grid with 30 some odd points to the good. Another one in a pretty good spot. I mean, tonight is David Weishart. Just has to have a good performance in the top 15 or so. And the rest of the drivers, Larch, Seidenfaden, Therian, and I remember all the drivers we had. My brain's starting to hurt here. So Larch, Grant, Therian, and Seidenfaden all fighting for that last spot, with Trader, the long shot for tonight, in the 8th spot, 7 points off the cut line. So 7.5 minutes left. Let's check out Michael Larch, currently out on the racetrack at that number 6. The guy inside the 4 now. Can he keep himself there at the end of the night there? At number 6 paint. So Michael Larch currently in the 3rd spot, looking to improve on his last lap there. No, going to be slightly slower than his first lap. So Hearn, Grant, Larch, all 3 playoff contenders. Danny Ware, number 18. Playoff driver from the Truck Series. About 5.5 minutes left in qualifying. So, few players. We have Skyoli player, Fambro, Therian, Elwood, Seidenfaden, Trader, Nicholas, Brett Slaughter, and Jordan Martin to finish here. Looks like Rich Christensen is elected not to take any laps. Connor Kresick now taking to the track. All right, coming in the line there, Connor Kresick, 31.216. He's in the 9th spot. And Nick Trader going up to the pole in his number 56. Going to try to get himself a win tonight to put himself into the field of 4. Colin Fambro out on the raceway, or he decided not to, or he's down there. See if I can get him. There we go. The number 24. We have the background slightly there, Mr. Elwood. It'll go away for when we go into practice, or into the race itself. Just I'm the only one in the booth, not a lot of talking, so I figured give you guys something to listen to other than listening to me talk the whole time. But I'm glad you hopefully approve. McCresick there, 30.898 for Fambro. Put him in the third spot. And your player out here in the 13 got him to the 10th spot. Playoff contender Chris Seidenfaden now getting out there on the racetrack. Brad Sauter puts himself 13th on his first lap. Now, a few drivers electing not to take a time. And it was Chris Seidenfaden into the wall there. It probably will not count that lap. So he'll have to stick with that 11th spot. And Brad Slaughter reset himself back there to the start finish line. So Scioli out there on the racetrack. Ellen Elwood, first lap, getting him into the 15th spot. So Scioli coming around for his second lap, currently in the 8th spot on the back straight here for lap number 2. All right, lap number 2 for James. 30.865. Puts him onto the pole, knocking off Mr. Trader. And looks like everybody else is off the racetrack currently. So 12 seconds left in the qualifier. Elwood and Slaughter, only 2 with laps left. I think they're going to get those in. We'll get ready to hit the grid now. So tonight's starting grid for the Yellow Brick Road 195. Let's get these guys set up here. Aerial shot here on the grid for the Lodgebox Series. Inside, row number 1 on the pole is Mr. James Scioli. Outside of him, championship contender Nick Trader, the 8th seed coming in, pretty much needs a win to secure a spot in the Final Four. Cameron Hearn also looking for that Final Four, pretty much guaranteed just by starting tonight. As Colin Fambro in the 24 on his outside in row number 2. Number 5 of Garrett Grant, and number 6 of Michael Larch both looking to get in. Fighting for that last fourth spot is pretty much open. Robertson and Smith in the fourth spot. Danny Weir, outside him is Shane Theron, another one looking for that final four spot. In row 5, row 6 is Andrew Player and Chris Seidenfaden. Again, another one of those drivers trying to get into the final four. Connor Okresic and Jordan Martin will be in row number 7. Brad Slaughter and Alan Elwood, who is locked into the final four in row number 8. Row 9 is David Weishart and Rick Christensen. David Weishart just needs a good performance tonight. Top 10 should lock him into the final four. And on shotgun on the field is Travis Beckner. And that is your starting lineup for the Lodgebox Series race at Kansas for the Yellow Brick Road 195. So starting off is Cameron Hearn having issues with his Oculus. He said he's having some sound issues with his racer. So asked for an end of the line. Rafe was able to take care of that for him. So we're getting ready to get going here. All right, getting ready to go, guys. So 14 people are watching. It only had 2 people chime in. One for Travis Beckner, the other one for Alan Elwood. Pace car pulls off. James Scioli will fire it off and bring us to the grid. The 7 takes the green flag on the inside. Outside is Nicholas Trader. Garrett Grant getting on his inside. So the top line not really going anywhere to start here. Scioli off like a cannon, about a 3-4 car length and extending over Garrett Grant. Looking for drivers to come in around lap 50. Some of them might short pit this to 45. That'll be 45.90, and then the 130. Tires will be a big issue here as well, as trying to make sure you maintain the right amount of fuel in this. Not as difficult as it's been in the last few nights with the fuel window as it is. Scioli off to almost the second lead over Garrett Grant already here on lap number 2 of the 130 slotted for tonight's race. James Scioli, the fastest race car during the race session thus far. Jordan Martin making it look good on the bottom line there. Currently underneath Connor Okresic. So Seidenfaden and Forrest Smith doing battle side by side, door by door, going into the corner. Seidenfaden down low, looking to pass the 18 on that low line. And that 18 of Danny Ware. Seidenfaden makes the pass, stays low, cutting the apron to start finish line. Nick Trader's in the 3rd spot. Flipping with him and Mr. Larch. Try to get to that right here. So the 56 and the 6 doing battle early. Lap 3 completed. Working on lap 4. Fambro coming up into this. So 2 non-playoff drivers currently in the top 5 with Mr. Robertson, Ware, and Smith in the top 10 as well. Elwood, Weishart, and Hearn all back 14, 15, and 16. Those drivers are pretty much locked in. Weishart might want to get a little bit further up into this race to ensure his spot, but Elwood locked in by winning last week and Hearn by points. Seidenfaden still choosing the low line as Grant is cutting down to the apron between turns 4 and turn 1. Scioli off to a 1.7 second lead. Almost 2 seconds over Grant is Scioli now. Bamborough all over the back of the 56 as they're all running high. That's what we saw the last few nights. The high line really works in. These guys are already up there. The low line tends to have the entry speed, but nothing off on exit. So see if anybody can make that low line work to get around people. Like Forrest Smith's down low there. Bamborough continues to push the Trader into the corners with Michael Larch right behind him. Larch trying to make sure he stays ahead of all the other drivers to keep his points ahead of. He's working directly with against Garrett Grant. He's got a couple positions to gain. Garrett Grant currently going to be holding himself in the 4th slot if it would end in this current configuration. But look to see if Mr. Larch want to push forward. Bamborough getting a little bit loose through the corners, like he was getting held up by the 56. Starts to settle up a little bit at 24. Here in the back, Shane Theron working back here. The 14 of Connor O'Kresick down low. Theron behind the VRA driver of Danny Weir. Lots of different lines being used through the corners. Everybody watching to pretty much to the wall on an exit of 2 and 4. Jockeying for position to 14 underneath the 18. Not be able to get there this time. 18 continues to work in front of the 14 through the corner, strong off. 14 diving low with the 0-2 of Jordan Martin now going with him. Courtney slides up in front of Danny Weir, almost contact. Take the position. Danny Weir now going down low. Shane Theron was like he's going to take the spot on the high side behind the 14. Single file through most of the field. Danny Weir, the first car kicked out to the side there. Looking to try to make the low line work. Losing positions on the low line. I'm seeing him try to slide back up if he can. Shane Theron working that outside groove as the best he can there. Trying to get Connor O'Kresick back to the bottom. He'll get behind the number 64 of Ed Robertson. And finished 13 laps. So 10% done for tonight. Lap time's about a second slower than they have clean and new tires. About 25% through the fuel run with the 1 second fall off. So we get a Let's Go Larch and Dean. Continue to watch here. This is number 2 of Weishart now, moving up to the 11th spot behind Elwood in 10th. So they're slowly working their way up with Slaughter. In front of them is Shane Theron, one of the playoff contenders, looking for a good run here to get himself into the playoff 4. Both Elwood and Weishart, as well as Hearn, pretty much locked in. So those drivers 3rd through 8th are fighting for the last position. Nick called 38 down low underneath the 54 Seidenfeiden. Michael Larch under attack by Seidenfeiden there. So they're side by side with Nick Trader just in front of them with Grant. We're here with Garrett Grant and Nicholas Trader. You can see the Larch Seidenfeiden in your viewer right behind him. Oh, into the wall is Michael Larch, able to gather it up. You can see his right side slapping the wall coming off that corner. And working lap 19 of the 130. So currently your leader is James Scioli by almost 3 seconds. Like Connor O'Kresick has manually disconnected. The number 14. We're down to 18 drivers all on the lead lap here. Forrest Smith the last on the lead lap. This is the last race of the final of the round of 8. So we will send 4 drivers back into the pool, and 4 drivers will advance to the championship 4 to duke it out at Phoenix next week. So Scioli pacing the field over 3 seconds now. We're going to move back into the rest of the field and take a look at what's going on right here. We're with Elwood and Weishart behind Danny Weir. Correction, behind Brad Slaughter Jr. in the 81. As it was like a Congo line behind the 54, Chris Seidenfeiden. And Shane Theron has come to the party. And behind him is Cameron Hearn. Well, fans, if you're just tuning in, I've got producing, broadcast, commentation. I got everything, and I'm the one-man band, so give me a break. If you hear me from me, just give me a shout, and we'll try to work everybody in here. It's like we got lots of stuff going on, like Weishart and Elwood side by side in that last lap in 3 and 4. So single file, unless they're passing, is what we're looking at right now. And you see Seidenfeiden down low, but underneath Weishart and Elwood. And for Drew Trader, the GOAT, huh? Not sure. I wouldn't even call myself that, but we try to do new and different things. I appreciate Transcendent Designs. I mean, you guys are trying to do new things with the paints. I'm trying to do new things in the broadcasting. I'm happy to have brought the Telestrator to iRacing, and some other things we'll be working on in the next few weeks, and maybe some new stuff coming into season number 2 for Aria. But right now, look at the 38 of Shane Theron with Cameron Hearn, and that side and fighting with Slaughter on the outside. Slaughter looking at a little bit of damage, and then that rear deck lid of the 81. Scioli, about 3 seconds, pretty much in his own zip code right now. Fambro, the only one that's behind him. Then you got to go all the way back to 4.1 second to Garrett Grant. Let's see if I can even pull him up here on the blimp camera. We got the blimp camera, and there's nobody there. Let's see how much I got to go back and back up. Oh, there's the first couple cars. Almost an entire straightaway is Scioli. Scioli, 3-second lead over the field. Working lap number 27. So 20% down of the race for tonight. See if we can find some more action going on through here. So Slaughter, Hearn, and Seidenfaden pretty much nose the tail all the way through the corner there. Calculations that I did, 50 to 55 on fuel. Based on my pit strategy, I would think 45 is when we see everybody start to come in. You go 45, 90, and in the end, it'll leave a set of Eagles in the pit stalls for a late caution, if there is one. One driver out, Connor Okresic. Well, then that 18 drivers still doing battle on the racetrack. Last car on the lead lap is Forrest Smith, about 12 seconds behind race leader James Scioli. So still quite a few laps to get before we even see any kind of lap traffic, unless some kind of damage happens. Moving along tonight, the Xfinity Series, known to have gone green flag from start to finish on multiple occasions this season. If memory serves me, they probably, for laps per incident, probably had the best record of going the green flag the longest of any of our 4 series. After tonight, one more race in the Xfinity Series for the Lodgebox Series here in Aria iRacing. It'll be the championship week at Phoenix. We see Slaughter Jr. into the wall, was able to collect it up. But the final 4, which we'll get to tonight, we'll do battle for the championship crown next week at Phoenix. Basically, whoever finishes first among the 4 takes home the trophy, as well as somebody looking at. We got David Weishart coming down pit lane at 33 laps. It's interesting because I did not anticipate anybody coming down this early. But we have Weishart, Slaughter Jr., and Chris Seidenfaden all going to short pit at 33. Because that would put you at using all your tires and having nothing left at all. But if it does go green, that would be using all the tires to your best advantage. As here comes down Garrett Grant, the number 5. James Scioli also down. Colin Fambro now your race leader. So we're working on green flag pit stops here at lap number 34 of the 130. So 12 drivers still on their original set of tires and have not yet pit. Colin Fambro leading that charge with Ed Robertson, Alan Elwood, and Shane Therian. Cameron Hearn, all your top 5 as green flag pit stops have started. Looks like Travis Beckner has been disconnected due to a packet loss. So a rough break for Travis, having internet situations early. Cameron Hearn announcing he's pitting in this lap. Andrew Player looking to get underneath Mr. Weishart, who has pitted already and took on tires. Brad Slaughter in pit lane. He has extensive damage. He's sitting on pit lane a minute and a half already. He's gone several laps down. And now Cameron Hearn and Jordan Martin, as they're coming down to get their service. Ed Robertson saying he's coming in next lap. So pit times all look like 4 tires and fuel stops. Coming down now, Fambro, Rick Christensen, and Ed Robertson. Cameron Hearn looks like he's getting an extensive amount of time on pit lane, already past 25 seconds. So not sure why that is, but he's heading out. It took him about 10 seconds on his pit stop. Puts him in the 16th spot coming out. Last on the lead lap. Brad Slaughter still in his pit stall. 2.5 minutes so far. Looks like everybody came in for 4 tires and fuel. Top 6 have yet to pit. Now Forrest Smith adding his name to the pit. So top 5 all on a different cycle, as Forrest Smith has come down pit lane here on lap number 37 of 38. 38 being worked on right now of the 130. So 30% in of this race, almost a third done. And some drivers already putting on that first set of tires. Danny Weir now coming down. So only 4 drivers are on older tires. 39 laps on these tires for Elwood, Therian, Larch, and Player. As you see, the number 6, so Michael Larch. It's his World War II type theme with the tiger teeth in front. That's Nick Trader, currently being shown in the 11th spot, a lap down. Elwood now on pit lane. That'll leave 3 cars that have yet to pit. Lap 40. And I'm thinking 40 is still not quite enough. 45 is what I'm thinking. We're going to see somebody stretch it to the 45. Travis Beckner trying to get back into the service. There's somebody down low on the apron going slow. So Shane Theron now on pit lane. Andrew Player, the only driver staying out. 41 laps for Andrew Player. If these guys do 40 laps, it won't be enough. It'll be 40, 80, and they still need 50 laps to the end. We'll see how this all plays out with their strategies. Player in the lead, only car that has not yet come down for service. Brad Slaughter still on pit lane at 5 minutes now. Andrew Player, 42 laps on his tires currently. Ed Robertson, Shane Theron, and Nick Trader in that picture. There's Jordan Martin now. Travis Beckner coming out of pit lane back onto the racetrack, showing 11 laps down. There's Ed in the currently being scored in the 6th spot. Side 5 and 7th and 8th to Nick Trader. Nicholas Trader, the 8th seeded driver coming into tonight, pretty much needs a win to secure him a spot into the championship 4. So currently Player showing the way with 44 laps. So I believe he's on the strategy. I was talking 45-90 and then to the end, and he'll have a set of tires. He's now coming down pit lane right about where I was calling for. But everyone else looks like they're on a 3-stop system versus 2, as everybody has completed green flag pit stops here at lap number 45 of the 130 laps for tonight. That being said, I'd like to thank Northern Capital. I'd like to thank Russ Anderson and Steve Anderson of Northern Capital for their support of the Northern Capital Truck Series and all of us here at ARIA. Thank you again to those guys for sponsoring the Northern Capital Truck Series you see on Tuesday night. Listen in next week for the final round of 4 from Phoenix Raceway with Harold and Cushy. And check out the Northern Capital Series on Tuesday nights here at ARIA iRacing on their Twitch channel. So 46 in the books of the 130. Laps are ticking away. Scioli leading this thing with almost a 5-second lead over Fambro. First playoff driver in the lead in the group here is Weishart, and then Garrett Grant just behind him. Grant tied with Larch coming in for the 4th spot, trying to stay ahead of everyone else other than Weishart, Hearn, and Elwood, so he can get as many points as he can to lock himself in by points. Beckner, looks like Beckner back on pit lane. And Slaughter, looks like Beckner is disconnected. So it looks like only 16 drivers remain on track, with Player and Larch a lap down. So if it ended right now, Garrett Grant would get the 4th spot. So currently, if it end right now, it would be Elwood Weishart, Garrett Grant, and Cameron Hearn. So Weishart and Grant towing Ed Robertson with them. Pretty much the closest race on the track currently. Yeah, Trader and Seidenfaden doing battle here for the 6th spot. Trader looking low, Seidenfaden high. Was Trader trying to get the 6th spot away from the 54. And you saw there Seidenfaden into the wall, runs through the grass all by himself. Looks like he's gotten it back onto the racetrack. Bad luck there for Chris Seidenfaden. And he's back to the 8th spot. So the number 2 and the number 5 with Ed Robertson, the 3 of these guys working together. Little pack running through the field here. They're still 6 seconds behind Scioli, which is 3 seconds to Fambro. A working lap 53 of the 130 slotted for tonight. And behind this group is Nick Trader and Alan Elwood. And back a little further to be Seidenfaden and Theron. .55 of the 130. You see that was Ed Robertson that just went low there. So far, 56 laps being worked. 55 down for the 130. There's 75 to go. No caution yet for tonight. Drivers pretty well spread out at this time. So Scioli, 2.5 seconds over Fambro. Currently your race leader. Coming up on lap traffic, it was Andrew Player. Andrew Player may have just gotten around him with newer tires. Andrew Player on 12 laps, Scioli on 24. The 1 car lap down is Michael Larch, the number 6 in the 16th spot. Trevor Beckner continued to battle internet connection issues. We're approaching halfway here in the Yellow Brick Road 195 here at Kansas for the Aria iRacing Twitch channel. Working lap 60. James Scioli leading the way. 2.3 seconds over Fanbro. 6.5 seconds back to Weishart and Grant. Continuing to work here. Lap 63. Scioli, your leader, Fambro, and then you're starting to see this group here heat up. Ed Robertson with Grant and Elwood now. Things continue to heat up between these drivers back about mid top 5 here with Weishart, Grant, Elwood. And Robertson now back just a tad bit behind. He's got 65 laps being worked on here. We're at the halfway mark. Fans, be sure to visit our sponsor, Swift Lifestyles, for clean supplements that help improve your focus in gaming. Use discount code ARIA iRacing for 15% off your entire order. We'd like to thank Swift Lifestyles for their support of the Swift Lifestyles Pro Series, which is our Monday ARCA Series. We'll be heading to Phoenix next week to start the championship week. Be sure to check them out as well. With that, we'll get to our midfield rundown. James Scioli coming into pit lane. Going to mess this up. He'll stay here. He's led 54 laps tonight. Currently coming in for servicing. That'll put Colin Fambro, who led 4 laps in the 24 Coors Light. Pretty much been the second driver all night long behind that race car of Scioli. Alan Elwood moving himself all the way to the 3rd spot, doing pretty darn good here. As a few other drivers has come down pit lane. Ed Robertson holding that 64 Samson Motorsport in the 3rd position. Nicholas Trader currently in the 4th spot, and he's a good race, or a win would really help him out in the transcendent design there. Alan Elwood currently coming down pit lane, as well as Carlin Fambro. Andrew Player moving up to the 6th spot based on S, and Garrett Grant, you're currently coming out of pit lane in the 5th spot. Danny Ware in the 9th and 18th. David Weishart would have been 10th currently, as they keep moving back between him and Ware. And that was a very quick rundown of your mid-race pack there with these guys. But pit has started to open up here for the second set of pit cycling through at the midway point. So Ed Robertson leads the way while pits are being done. Looks like 4 drivers have yet to pit. 5 drivers, actually Michael Larch as well. So Ed Robertson, Nick Trader, Shane Theron, and Andrew Player, as well as Michael Larch, all have yet to get their second set servicing in. Then you see them coming down. Like, I think Robertson and Trader will come down around in about 10 laps of lap 80. Here comes the number 7 of Scioli looking to get around the leader to get his lap back, and there he goes. Ed Robertson coming down pit lane. So Nick Trader taking over. Should get his point for leading a lap there. Trying to get as many bonus points as he can, and as well as track positions to try to lock himself into the championship 4. I try to watch a few things at the same time there, Drew, but I have 4 monitors plus a laptop on the side. So trying to see a couple different things and run things. That's why it's always nice to have 2 dedicated commentary guys that are watching my computer cameras where I can run the graphics and other things so they can worry about calling the race. Nice to only have to chime in once in a while. So Garrett Grant looking at working on Danny Weir with Alan Elwood in tow here. This is the battle for the 6th spot. Give it to Grant underneath Danny Weir. Nick Trader coming down pit lane now. Andrew Player now the leader of the race with 27 laps on his tires. I won't expect to see Player come down until about lap number 90 in about 20 laps. Watching a few different things so Drew's starting to figure out a little bit about how this works. Be able to watch different screens. We got who's spotting and watching the broadcast and watching the 500 qualifier. So Drew Trader doing a little bit of work here tonight. So working lap 73 of the 130. So we're in the second half of this race. Second pit stops have started. Drivers that have yet to take on the second set of tires will be Michael Larch, currently a lap down in 14th, and Andrew Player, currently leading the race on 29 lap tires. He is just in front of Scioli. Scioli probably blow right by him here, and he does. So Andrew Player gives up the lead to Mr. Scioli, with Fambro about 3 seconds behind these guys. And Michael Larch now coming into picture behind number 13, who is second now to James Scioli. Colin Fambro on the 24 Coors Light. 7 lap tires, probably going to be catching and eating up their 13 relatively quickly. Then that pack of 3 playoff contenders, Weishart, Elwood, and Grant. Grant being the only driver that really needs a good performance here. Weishart, Elwood already pretty much locked into this if it was to end right now. Grant fighting with Seidenfaden, Theron, and Larch for the final spot. Weishart getting around at 13 on the high line. Injured player on 32 lap tires. So about 13 more to go. And he come in and get his last set of tires, and that'll be his last pit stop. That's the theory that I'm going with for him. Everyone else, I believe they'll come down right about lap 100 for their final service and tires and fuel. Here, number 38 is Shane Theron. Shane Theron, under 38, one of the playoff contenders, needs to get up past Garrett Grant. You see Ed Robinson up close to that wall there. Nick Trader now coming into picture with the number 38. Trying to put himself up to the front here. Working lap 80, so 50 laps remaining in this race. So Weishart working on Elwood now. We go to this battle here between a 49 and 2. So Sampson versus VRA here with these two guys. So Scioli, your leader by 2.5 seconds over Fambro, and then about 5.5 back to Elwood, Weishart, and Grant. Then we got a big jump back to Theron, Robertson, and Trader. And Player continues to fall back on those old tires in the 9th spot currently. He's at 38 laps on those tires. Gonna put about 7 more on to come down and get fresh start tires to see how it works out for him at the end of this. Working lap number 83 here. So Forrest Smith disconnected. Cameron Hearn is disconnected, as well as Travis Beckner and Connor O'Kresley. Brad Slaughter has parked his car for the night. 28 minutes in the pit lane for him. So 14 cars racing, 13 on the lead lap. Michael Larch, the only car a lap down, currently in the 14th spot in his number 6. It's going to definitely hurt his playoff capabilities for tonight. No real change on the racetrack. Try to grab you with some of the area. Ed Robertson, Nick Trader, and Shane Theron here. Look at this little group back here. Working 85 of the 130 slotted. So about 45 laps left. Well, based on Andrew Player's capability, he can come in anytime now and get the last fuel and tires for himself to make it to the end. The other drivers going to come in about 10 to 12 laps for their final pit stops. Continuing to march off the laps here as we see these three here all working for position. Shane Theron, Robertson, and Nick Trader in the 56. This is the battle for the 6th spot. Closest battle on the raceway here as we're watching. Michael Larch on pit lane for his final servicing. He's now down 2 laps. Jordan Martin down now at lap 02. Down at pit lane, Andrew Player has come down for his final pit stop in number 13 in the 12th spot. Scioli, Fambro continuing to pace the field, 2.5 seconds from Scioli back to Fambro and another 4 seconds back to Elwood. So Scioli has this track dialed in. Garrett Grant moving up, teammate Michael Christian, David Weishart. Player back off of pit lane. Being scored a lap down, him and Jordan Martin. They should be done for the night as far as pits go. I think Jordan Martin still has 27 laps on tires, so Andrew Player on that strategy of just the one stop with 2 sets of tires remaining, or 1 set of tire remaining in the pit. The rest of these drivers have the 1 set, but they're going to come down and get those shortly. Look at lap number 91 of the 130, so 40 laps to go. James Scioli, still your race leader. Good 2.5 second lead over Fambro. Oh, Weishart, little contact with Nick Trader. And up into the outside retaining wall goes the number 2 of Weishart. Trader on by. Everybody still needs to pit except for Player. Danny Ware on pit lane. So Nicholas Trader now working on Shane Therian. Saw him get it in with the number 2 of Weishart. Falls behind the 38 going through the corner. As we're working lap number 93 of the scheduled 130. About 36 laps to go. But Trader putting it to the number 38 of Theron. Dave Weishart just caught up with Ed Robertson. You guys have fallen back about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds behind Nicholas Trader. Scioli still 2.5 seconds ahead of Fambro as he's caught up with some lap traffic here. So Scioli pretty good here. Scioli having a 2.5 above Fambro. Back here to Ed Robertson as we have some pit stalls starting. Theron and Nick Trader in together. See these two down pit lane side by side. 38 splits off for his pit. 56 continues moving forward. Here's that number 19 of Rick Christensen. Rick is on 29 lap tires. Will be cut to come down shortly. So continue to work in here. Scioli, your race leader, 12.3 ahead of Ed Robertson. As drivers have come down pit lane, Fambro on pit lane now in his box. So final pit stops being done right now. And some drivers are slapping on their last set of tires. So Fambro, Alan Elwood, Shane Theron, Nick Trader, Garrett Grant, and Danny Weir, as well as now Scioli coming down pit lane. Now, all drivers that have used up all their tires. As we're coming up on 40 to go, or 30 to go, that is. 3-0 to go. But there underneath Mr. Weishart in the number 2. Weishart currently being shown in the second spot. He will need to pit again. He's at 34 laps right now. So he's going to need to come down fuel at least. So Weishart inherits the lead as Ed Robertson comes down pit lane. The number 2 of David Weishart gets the lead a lap here. Incidents so far, our only driver that has any incident points is Chris Seidenfaden. And we saw that basically leaving the confines of the track, dropping below. So it's unsafe driving, gave him 1 point. So everybody else has that 1 point for basically safe driving of 0 incidents currently. A 0-2 of Jordan Martin certainly being shown in the 6th spot. He's on 40 laps. He's going to need to come down shortly. Weishart and Seidenfaden. Seidenfaden 10 seconds, almost 11 seconds behind race leader David Weishart. Chris Seidenfaden and David both need to come down pit lane one more time. Scioli, Elwood, Fambro Theron, Nick Trader, as well as Garrett Grant, all good to the end. Jordan Martin, the 9th place driver, will also need to come down shortly. 25 laps remaining. 26 laps remaining. Jordan Martin down on pit lane now. David Weishart coming down pit lane. Leaving Larch and Seidenfaden. Seidenfaden now coming down now. And Andrew Player, Jordan Martin, and Michael Larch. I think Jordan Martin's down now. So Michael Larch and Andrew Player, the only drivers who haven't come down for a third set. I think Player can make it to the end. Possibly Michael Larch can as well, as we have 26 laps left. Seidenfaden coming out of pit lane. Weishart down pit lane. Looks like he's been there for an extended period of time. Not sure what's wrong with David Weishart. Showing down on his pit box for over a minute now. That could be devastating for David Weishart. Not sure what's wrong with his car. Minute and 17 seconds. I'm not sure what's going on with David Weishart in his car. Because Weishart was only, I believe, 7 seconds above the cut line, or 7 points above the cut line, or 10 points above the cut line. So he would be in 14th. A driver in 4th or better could put him out. So if we have two drivers, like that would be Grant and Trader, could get in the top 4. They could end up forcing him out of his position. Theron in the 4th spot, Garrett in the 6th spot. So it's going to be awful close to see what happens. Hopefully Weishart can get back on the racetrack. Race leader is James Scioli, showing here as he's passing Larch to put Larch down a second lap. David Weishart continues to sit on the pit stall in his pit lane, or in the pit stall on pit lane, as Scioli up to a 3-second lead over Fambro and a 4-second lead over Alan Elwood, who is the only driver locked into the final 4. Hearn, by virtue of points, should also be locked in. So the final 2 spots could be in play as Weishart is in the pit 7 laps down in 14th. And showing up to the party is Gary Lewis. As we're winding down to 20 to go here in the Lodgebox Xfinity Series for Aria iRacing, as we're skinning in down the playoff field from 8 to 4 tonight. Working the 18 laps to go. Scioli here, leading by 3.3 seconds. Right now, looks like we know Alan Elwood is locked in. Cameron Hearn locked in by points. David Weishart could be in jeopardy based on a 14th point or 14th position finish here, considering he is 7 or 9 laps down and still on pit lane. And then up for grabs basically be those last 2 spots between Shane Theron, Garrett Grant, Chris Seidenfaden. Michael Larch being marred back could hurt his chances, and Nicholas Trader would pretty much have to win this to make up his deficit to the cutoff line. But time will tell. 16 laps will definitely tell. So coming up on 15 laps to go as Scioli has continued to pace the field. Back here, Grant and Trader. And Trader pretty much has to put himself in the top of all playoff drivers to even have a shot. His best shot would be to win, but he's about 10 seconds behind the race leader. Seidenfaden now a lap down in the 54. Like Larch 2 laps down. So about 13 laps left. Scioli, your race leader, 4 seconds to the good. Fambro behind him. 6 seconds behind Scioli is Elwood. Then 9 to Theron. Grant and Trader together, as you see here on your screen, and running in 5th and 6th, 10 seconds behind the race leader. Right now, 2 drivers have 1 set of tires left. That would be Andrew Player and Michael Larch. Larch is 2 laps down. Player on the lead lap, but the last car on the lead lap. Showing here number 38, now the number 5. Back to the 38 of Theron. He's currently running in the 4th spot behind Mr. Elwood by about 3 seconds. Coming up on lap traffic of Mr. Larch. His time by will get the 10 to go. To race leader James Scioli in the 7 machine. Been a rocket all night. Scioli in a class by himself has gotten off to an early lead and held on to it with dear life. And Garrett Grant all the way up high. Nick Trader right behind him, almost slapping the wall with that right side. We're under 10 to go with Scioli leading by 3.8. Laps are winding down. The 8 to go once Scioli passes the start-finish line. He's about 11 seconds ahead of this group here of Grant and Trader as they're coming up on the lap car of Larch. 8 laps to go. Maybe Weishart still on pit lane, 10 minutes now. So race top 9 on the lead lap. Andrew Player Dow down a lap. He is the first car a lap down. We get the Scioli, who's right here on our screen here. About 28 seconds back to Rick Christensen, who's just in front of him with Danny Weir. Those two cars are just ahead of his windscreen. Working lap 125 of the 130, about to give him the 5 to go signal. And Scioli disappears for just a second there. 3.7 seconds ahead is now Scioli. Coming down, 5 to go, gives the flag man to the number 7. And laps continue to tick away. 5 laps to go. Scioli, your race leader. Out of the playoff drivers, Elwood leads the way into third position in number 49. 3 seconds behind him is Shane Theron. 2 seconds behind them is Grant and Nicholas Trader. Scioli gets the 4 laps to go. Coming to 3 to go here. Continuing to tick the laps down. So 3 more to go as we see him 32.7 seconds. Almost a 4-second lead over the number 24 of Fambro. The only real Garrett Grant and Nick Trader coming side by side here, or to the side here with the 56 and the 5. Closest race on the track right now between these two for the 5th spot. Scioli will be getting the 2 to go signal as he crosses the line here. So 2 laps to go. Once Scioli receives the white flag, only the next flag after the white will come out will be the checkered. So he's looking for the white to come up to finish this race. Everybody all spread out. I do not see that changing here. Coming to the line. White flags out. 1 to go. Presented by 1 to go Studios. Race leader James Scioli getting the 1 to go from our flag man. Currently leading the way here over Fambro by 3.6 seconds. Then 6 seconds, almost 7 back to Elwood. Then Theron, Grant, and Nick Trader rounding out your top 6. It is our final lap. Here he comes down to the checkered flag. There's our race winner. James Scioli wins. Fambro coming in the second. You see there Alan Elwood in the 3rd position. Shane Theron. It's like Garrett Grant followed by Nicholas Trader. Danny Weir coming there. And Michael Larch. So we check in with James Scioli as we start to take everybody up to the broadcasting booth. It was the top 3 drivers. All right, 7 parks it there. Wait to see what comes about with our points update. Let's see if I can find anyone else in our system here. Let's see, we got Ellen Elwood. See, Skyoli has just showed up, so let's try to get with him. All right here. All right, get with our race leader here. Hey, James, you're in the booth with Harold, man. Victory here for Kansas Speedway. Bring it home here in the number 7. Not a playoff contender, but man, 105 laps led. You put a big stamp on this thing.
Yeah, I felt that I just need to stop making mistakes. The last couple weeks, I've just made a couple silly mistakes. Last week, I was speeding on pit road, so this week was just all about not making any mistakes in qualifying or the race, and I was able to put it on pole and kind of run away with it. But Colin really kept it pretty close. At times, he was faster than me, so I had to kind of change up what I was doing to keep ahead of him. He had a good run going.
All right. Well, yeah, we see the Rick's hot sauce on there. What other sponsors do you have that helped you get to victory lane today?
Rick's Hot Sauce is it. I want a big thank you to them, and as always, code Skyoli at rickshotsauce.com will get you $7 off. But I also want to give a big thanks to you guys in the booth and Lodgebox and area and everybody for putting this on. It feels good to get a win. It felt like a long time coming, and I obviously wouldn't be here without you guys, so I really appreciate everything you do.
All right, James. We'll let you get back to victory lane. You know, good job putting that Elwood Design 7 Rick hot sauce in the victory lane tonight. And I'm sure we'll see you again next week at Phoenix as we finish up season 1 here for Aria.
Thank you.
All right, put him back into victory lane with his buddies, and we will get with our next driver, Colin Fambro, try to get his car on the racetrack. There we go. The number 24 Coors Light. Pull him on up. Colin, you're in the booth with Harold, man. The 24 Coors Light makes it to the number 2 position up on the podium today. You know, also another non-playoff driver in the 2nd position. James was saying he saw that you were dirt fast for few others. He was a little bit worried about it. It made him get up on his A game. What did you think? You might have had anything for him?
I don't know, man. I had it took me a while to get past a couple of cars at the beginning of the race, and since it went green, he kind of drove out and just maintained that gap the whole race. I tried to undercut once, and I really drove the car hard the second run, and I was only able to cut it down to about 2.5 seconds, and then he kind of stretched it out the last little part of that run. So I just, at that point, I was just too far back to make any hay there.
All right. Well, Colin, I mean, you said this is our 2nd position tonight. Non-playoff driver. We've got Phoenix next for the end of the season 1 here at Aria for the Lodgebox series. Who do you want to thank for your number 2 spot for tonight?
I just got to thank Alan Elwood for this paint that's on this thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I think it was probably the best looking car on the track tonight.
All right. So, all right, we'll take out to Alan Elwood and Elwood Designs for Fambro's ride. We'll let you get back to your guys, and we'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Thanks.
All right. Talking about Alan Elwood. Bring Alan Elwood up here. Alan Elwood, you're in the booth with Harold, man. The number 49 in the 3. You're the highest playoff driver, so you're already locked in by winning last at Michigan. You just kind of make sure you're the first one with yellow to get across tonight. So how was your race tonight? I mean, you guys were quite a bit behind Fambro and Scioli, but you were pretty much just kind of feeling the track out from what I could see.
Yeah, I've never really been a big fan of Kansas, so I put myself behind the 8 ball already when I scraped the wall in qualifying. I tried to, kind of take it easy on lap 1 and then lap 2 go hard, and I ended up in the wall, so didn't end up getting that time down that I wanted. So I knew that coming through the pack was going to be tough, and you gotta work strategy to try to get up there, and I think we did a good job of that. And then I had one eye on my race and then another eye on trying to keep tabs on where Shane is with him trying to get into the championship 4. So, was just making sure that, he was staying out of trouble. And I think the strategy really helped as far as getting him up to a good position.
All right, look into that. I'm waiting for word about the playoff picture because, I'm just the broadcaster. I don't do all that, but I haven't seen any changes yet to report to you guys. But, Alan, who do you want to thank for your podium finish tonight and looking forward to next week in Phoenix?
I'll just, title sponsor Lodgebox for helping us with the series here and all our partners at area. Jacob and the admin crew, you, the one-man broadcast tonight. I appreciate you, Harold. And, everything that you do for us and just everybody at VRA. I'm have a really good feeling we're going to get another 2 cars in the championship 4 like we did for the truck. So just thank everybody for their hard efforts there. And, I can't wait to get to Phoenix.
All right. Well, doing the broadcast, the commentation, and all that stuff, that's what was used to doing before I got a hold of Jake. And then all of a sudden I got a whole bunch of commentators to talk for me. But this is kind of like throwing it back to 2 years ago when I started doing this stuff. So just having more screens to look at, that's all.
It's just like riding a bike.
It's like, man, I remember doing this with only 2 screens. I got 4 and another laptop to watch.
It's like the old days.
The old days. All right, Alan, we're going to let you guys get back talking strategy for next week. Like I said, I'm trying to find out when the points get updated, and hopefully I can get something out to you guys tonight. I know you're locked in. Hearn's locked in. Not sure about Weishart because he was in 14th tonight. And I know he was pretty good to the good, but that far back in here doesn't open the door for other people. So we'll let you guys know as soon as I know.
I appreciate it, Harold.
All right, we'll let you go. All right, we're trying to get that final information in. See if anybody can let me know. So trying to figure out here what's going on with the guys. See if anybody updated the points. But tell them let's go over our results for tonight. So for the Yellow Brick Road 195, James Scioli wins. Colin Fambro second. Alan Elwood third. Shane Theron fourth. Fifth was Garrett Grant. Nick Trader comes home in 6th spot. Ed Robertson 7th. 8th was Danny Weir. And on the last car on the lead lap, Rick Christensen in the 9th spot. 1 lap down, Andrew Player in 10th. In 11th, down a lap was Seidenfaden and Jordan Martin in 12th. 2 laps back, Michael Larch in 13th. Weishart 14th, 26 laps down. Forrest Smith 69 down. Cameron Hearn 72 back. Travis Beckner 94 back, 98 back for Slaughter. And Connor Okrezik back 113 laps. A lot of attrition tonight for such a small field from Kansas Speedway, Kansas City, Kansas. The Lodgebox Series for the Yellow Brick Road 195 tonight. Let's go get our Elwood Design race recap for the Yellow Brick Road 195. No cautions, another caution-free race for the Xfinity Lodgebox Series here. It's James Scioli, 105 of the 130 laps led. Number of drivers was 19, and Alan Elwood had the fastest lap at 30.999 in the number 49 car. And again, try to find us a playoff picture here. We haven't updated at all. Still not seeing an update at all in the current system here. Not sure what the deal is. Might be able to get something come up. So Rafe's in the admin tower, but I'm not sure if they are the ones that add to the standings page. But let's see if I can maybe come. It's awful close between. So Weishart was 10 points in the good, but it was 14 points. So 14th position. So with that being said, so you got Weishart. So Alan Elwood, which really doesn't count. Shane Theron would have gained 10 points over Weishart, but it might not have been enough. He did have an extra point over Garrett Grant. I think he needed more than 1 point for over Garrett Grant. Ooh, it is so close between so many drivers tonight. Look back at the playoff picture here before we leave, and then we'll try to get you keep an eye on Facebook. Yeah, I'm a one-man band tonight, man. This took a lot out of me. You can remember this, but Elwood locked in. Hearn, he's locked in. Weishart is a question mark. Larch, Grant, Theron. We know Larch, based on his attrition, he's out. So Grant and Theron are pretty much a deadlock currently. So it's going to be probably a tiebreaker between the two of them. Seidenfaden was back and Trader was. So right now, it pretty much looks like going to have to figure out between Shane Theron and Garrett Grant. I'm going to say Weishart's probably also in. So trying to figure this out with these guys. Maybe somebody could get us something here momentarily, but it's pretty close there. I would say Elwood, Hearn, Weishart, and then they're going to have to tell me between Garrett Grant and Shane Theron. So no updates. So keep an eye on Facebook. Theron led a lap, but I believe did Garrett Grant lead a lap? Let me double check that. So let's pull up the finisher. So Shane Theron led one lap. Garrett, so that may be the break that Theron needs to get himself into the final four. So good call there by Drew Trader. So unofficially, let's see, we'll call this unofficial. And we'll work that in here. One more piece here. All right, so get this set up here. And show this up for everyone. All right, got one more thing to show you guys, and then of course put it somewhere I didn't want it to go. We'll double check this here. More here again. All right, I'm trying to get this in here for you guys. Do a picture file, and then it doesn't want to show it to you. All right. I think we got it now. So let's throw this down as our playoff picture. And unofficial. There's your final four. Alan Elwood, Cameron Hearn, David Weishart, and Shane Theron. Again, unofficial until they do it. But that's what I'm saying. Looks like we have for our final four. But based on points. That in quick, fuzzy math, but not official. So, until next week at Phoenix, tomorrow night here at the Cup Series, I'm Harold Arner for One to Go Studios. Appreciate you guys listening and tuning in to us. We'll catch you guys at the next turn.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's one to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.